Brian.
It's John.
Yes, it is.
The good-looking one from Goth's John. No.
Oh, just John.
It is just John. I will say, though, before we start, it's quite surprising now how many times I read about your band, your wonderful little band, in different articles and stuff like that you post online, and they do describe you as a rock duo.
A rock duo, but they don't say gods, do they, Brian? They don't say gods.
Well, that's a progression, surely.
Well, you're responsible for that progression, aren't you, Brian? So,
yeah, a long time ago as well. But I'll still claim, yeah, absolutely, rock gods. You are totally rock gods, and people still use it today, which is really nice. I like it.
It's
anyway.
nice for you, yeah.
But the last time Johnny was like, I don't like it because we're not a rock band.
Well, is that what he said? I'm more like I'm not a god. So
no. I think he quite liked that bit.
Oh, really?
I think rock has just become a big, huge, because Idols obviously got nominated for 2 Grammys last week, flash past as they are.
Yeah,
in the best rock album category, which was there you go.
There we go.
When you get nominated for a Grammy, John, and you will one day, it will be in the rock category. All right.
Well, just while we're on that, did Wet Leg get a Grammy nomination as well?
They got a Grammy. They got nominated for their Soul Wax remix.
Oh, really?
Okay. So a bit of a Soul Wax nomination rather than a Wet Leg nomination. Bless them.
It's just we know their stage manager very, very well. So we played on the weekend in Leeds at the wonderful Brudenell Social Club, and we happened to notice that Wet Leg were also playing in Leeds. So so I don't know which show is going to be better attended, do you think? I don't know, but yeah, so after the show we actually drove down to see our pal Dave, and it was hilarious because I literally just parked our tiny van. The door doesn't open at the moment either.
Brilliant.
Next to their nightliner, like right next to it, and their driver was like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" Sorry.
Do you know who I am?
That's what we said, and he said no. So we caught up with Dave, and I think we met Hester. I think Johnny knows Rihanna a little bit, but long and short of it was obviously we had a fantastic show in Leeds, and very, very proud of all of the guys in Idols. Obviously, we have a long history, and they are some of our closest friends in this musical thing. So it's still a bit wild to process it, coming from those kind of early days when we were playing together just before Brutalism. And yeah, it's wild to see that that's now had an anniversary release, and it's 5
years.
It's brilliant. Like hats off. It's just I still struggle to perceive it,
But reeling right back to where we started this conversation, they are a rock band, John, just like John are.
Yeah, I'm fine with rock, whatever. It's, whatever. But the gods, Brian. I mean, how big is my head? I mean, it probably looks pretty big on this screen, but
I think I read somewhere there's about 3,000 gods in the world.
Oh, really?
Generally, yeah. The people worship about 3,000 gods. I've got 3,001 because obviously there's you as well. See,
so 2 because there's 2 of us. So
but you're like a lovely.
A package god.
Package, aren't you? Really? Yeah.
Okay. Of godness.
Of godness and sweat and Johnny's sex faces and all that stuff.
Oh,
and I'm an atheist, so you are my only god. So let's stop flirting now.
Okay,
John.
That's fine. Okay,
John.
We've accepted the name. That's fine, Brian.
How are you? How are you, John? Where are you, John? And what have you been doing today?
So I live in Brighton now. So that might have changed since last time. And yeah, I suppose like post lockdown, kind of moved down here, and it's been a really nice change of pace because I was in London for about almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And Johnny's just up the road in South London. So it's, in terms of, we still see each other very regularly. And we've got like a little lock-up space down here now, which means that we can be more creative, I guess. And yeah, just generally pretty good. Obviously, it's a very challenging time for music in general. It's across the board, kind of promoters, agents, musicians are because the consumer habit, I guess, has changed with people kind of buying tickets or going to shows. Just the habits changed. So it's a kind of a bit of a wild new world. And it's just but we fight on, and we've been at it for long enough to know that you just keep going because you love it. So I'd like to say this year, there's been lots of positives, but also it's certainly been a tough one.
I think when COVID restrictions, I think the last time we spoke, we were right in the depths of COVID. I think you were in some house in the middle of the country somewhere.
I was with my parents. Yeah,
that's right. You hadn't been in the same room with Johnny for like months and months and stuff like that. So we were in a very different world then. But and I can't even remember when that was. It seems like a decade ago, although it only seems like it was last week as well.
Yeah.
When all those COVID restrictions finally lifted, obviously there was massive restrictions still. Do you remember those sitting down gigs and all that sort of stuff we had to suffer and go through, which was the weirdest fucking time. But then obviously that got lifted eventually. When was that? Towards the end of last year or the beginning of this year, I think.
It was it July 20? So basically, we were able to start rehearsing again quite early because we were only two of us.
Yes.
So I think it would have been around like June 2020.
2020.
2020. Yeah.
Last year, end of last summer, I think. Because I can remember when.
That's 21 though, isn't it? No. Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
21. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, fucking, it's gone all mental. It's gone all mental, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't even remember when we played those Studio 9294 shows.
I think it was 21 because I think we're at the end of 22 now, and lockdown was like 19, 20. So
yeah.
My point is when those when people could start going out again, and you could start booking gigs again in various venues and stuff, there was a noticeable lack of people, because I know that you've only got to walk through my local high street now on a Friday and Saturday night to see that people don't go out as much as they used to. Whether that's for health reasons or I don't know, but something's definitely changed in the UK that I don't think has still come back again. No. And then obviously the beginning of this year, cost of living crisis has completely
floored that.
It's made everything. Even if you wanted to go out now, people generally can't as much. Did you notice that? I mean, I know you did festivals this year and stuff, and festivals are generally very well attended.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised because we obviously, like in quite a positive way, we timed the third album, Nocturnal Maneuvers, like pretty well in terms of, doors opened and the album came out. So we did actually get the album tour, the UK album tour in. And those shows were great. And that was actually very reassuring. It was like really anxiety inducing in the run up, because you're receiving numbers and, you just want it to be, a good time. But they were really, really good. But I think you could still see a little bit of a drop off, in terms of, there's less kind of sellouts and things like that. But that's
I come to see you at the Rough Trade. I think it was this kind of album launch sort of.
Yeah, that was weird because that was
that was quite early after lockdown, I think.
Yeah, that was like after the Moth Club show. So it was actually a bit of a weird one because we had done the London show, which was sold out. That did actually sell out, which was amazing. So that's what I mean. Is like it was kind of like it was really, really anxiety inducing to start with, but actually it was great to see us. You know, we did have people come out, and that was really good.
You did. I think you've got a loyal following. That's what I think anyway. People love John.
Well, I hope so.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with Brudenell on the weekend. You know, it's not a small venue, so you know, again, you're sat there kind of like hoping for the best, and you know, usually when you turn up, you know, you just get a sense that everything's going to be all right. So, and that was more than all right. It was a brilliant show. So that was the first of obviously these three special kind of curated shows that we've put together for the end of the year. And yeah, I mean, the Brudenell's legendary. If anyone's not been,
I've never been. It's far too up north for me, mate.
I know what you mean, but you would love it. It's you know, former social club kind of feel, but just a special place. Incredibly well run. Yeah, really beautiful.
You did some nice festival performances this year as well.
What, this year?
Yeah.
I mean, like, because again, like the year before, you know, obviously some festivals did go ahead, so we kind of got our favorites in there. You know, we got the Green Man, we got End of the Road. So this year was a bit like, oh, we're probably not going to get rebooked for them. So I was wondering what might come in, and it was great to do kind of Latitude, BBC introducing stage, which is, you know, a really big stage. Main stage at Bearded Theory with like Patti Smith, which was which was great. And I kind of heard a lot of people kind of come to our headline shows off the back of that, which was really great, because it was you know, we're both comfortable with big stages. We've done big stuff before, but it was really nice to really send it and be like, you know, we can be on these big stages if you believe us. You know what I mean?
I think that's where the next audience, that's where the newest fan member, the newest audience member comes from, surely, playing those festivals. Because
and they're competitive.
I mean, unless you get played on the radio, which I know you do now on certain stations and stuff like that, there's so much out there. There's so much out there to listen to and find and discover. Festivals must be a great way for you to.
Well, I think just the live show is, we've always said that's the place to really experience the band. And I've always been pretty proud of the fact that, like, I think even if you're not necessarily into kind of louder music, if you see the show, there's still something to kind of take away from it because of the, you know, the level of, you know, the performance. And the energy that we kind of throw into it. So yeah, I mean, I like to think that is, you know, we've had a lot of people come back from, you know, we always get comments about people coming back from like Green Man or End of the Road or Bearded Theory, people saying, you know, at the Brudenell on the weekend, there's probably like 20 people who come up and say, oh, I saw you at this festival and that festival. So it's obviously a good place to kind of share the word.
And you make a beautiful noise as well, which is, I think, a lot of people love.
I like to think so.
You do,
obviously.
You do.
Otherwise, I would. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. But you know, we're not someone who has grown like in a very sharp rate. It's always been a very steady growth, and we're both very happy with that. You know,
how long now? How long have you been?
I think it's 10 years now. I think it's a decade.
A decade this year or next year?
I think maybe at the turn of the year. I don't really.
So where's the big anniversary show then?
They're all big anniversary shows.
They are. It's the right answer. Well done.
Exactly. You got to play every show like it's your last.
I just think anniversary show kind of demands cake to some point.
Well, all the shows demand cake, mate. You should see our rider.
Is it just cake?
No, it's not. It's very small.
And hummus. a few beers for Johnny.
Hummus and non-alcoholics.
Of course it is, because yeah.
Well, Johnny.
Johnny doesn't drink a non-alcoholic beer. Let's not lie now.
He likes a real beer. He likes a real beer.
You did some dates with Mclusky this year.
Yeah, that was another wonderful thing, you know, amongst the kind of graft of the year. Like, it's always special to play with those guys. I kind of often pinch myself a little bit because you know, I grew up listening to that band.
Yeah.
And you know, they're now, you know, really good friends of ours. You know, Andy Falkus will give me a ring, you know, when he's going to the post office, kind of thing, getting his Diet Cokes. Brilliant. So it's yeah, so it's nice. It's really nice. I am very pleased that he, as someone that I've looked up to since I was a kid, is, you know, evidently supportive of what we do and into what we do. Like, you know, he's quite particular with what he likes. So it's you know, it's high praise, and they make it very easy to play with them because they're incredibly professional, you know, and he cares so much about people just having a nice time. He's very detailed with how he kind of runs a show. And, you know, I've taken a lot of inspiration from that in terms of our support acts, you know, just always look after everyone, because at the end of the day, if you look after everyone and communicate to everyone, the show's going to run smoother. So just don't, there's no need to be on your high horse about anything. Like, thankfully, we don't really come across those types of people, but there's no need for it.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
That's been around some time now.
Yeah, he's been around since the start, which is
like pre-first album. I don't think we ever spoke about it. How did you find out that Simon Pegg, Hollywood superstar as he is now, was a John fan?
Firstly, I got tagged into a tweet saying that he had played us on BBC Six on a kind of sound and vision little feature. So I obviously tried to work out what might have happened. So I don't know whether he found it out independently, but I also used to work for an artist, and I did work on a BBC culture show program with the amazing journalist Miranda Sawyer. And Miranda Sawyer is married to the actor Michael Smiley, who is in lots of things, lots of great things. He's a fantastic actor. You will recognize him. He was in Space. He played Tyres in Spaced, who is the bike courier who starts dancing to the he's in what did I watch recently? In Censor, the film Censor. It's really good. Just like loads of things. So I have a feeling maybe because he's very good friends with Simon, I don't know whether it passed through that, but it might not have been. It might have been independently, but
and he's still pushing it now. Did he push? He mentioned the most recent single, I do believe.
Like we have a little bit of a conversation, which is very, very nice, because obviously I grew up with his TV and films, so we have a little bit of a chat on email every now and again. But it's great to have someone who is a creative with just a cinematic kind of mind, liking what we do, because I think that's one of the things that we have tried to push into the music over the last years is trying to get some kind of cinematic element in there, which I think we are, gradually achieving more and more. But it takes practice.
Before we move on, has Mr. Pegg made himself known at a John gig?
He hasn't, but he's interested to see us when possible. But obviously it's got to fit round.
He's jet setting lifestyle. Absolutely.
Well,
I'm talking of visuals. I'm not gonna lie to you. I always forget to watch people's videos constantly. If anyone asks me about the video that someone's made for a band, I probably haven't seen it, but I have seen a few of yours this year.
Yeah.
Is this all from your mind? Is this all originally started as your concept?
There was a song for those who speed in built up areas, which is the one with the light box.
Yep.
I always wanted to do something with it because I made it, but then our good friend Tom Bruins, who's in a band called USA Nails, who are fantastic, he got in touch actually with that idea, and then we kind of developed it together, but it all came from his idea of kind of stabilizing the box in every shot, so the box stays central and the external stuff is moving. So if people Google it, whatever, they'll be able to see what I mean. So that was kind of, we did have a big part in it because I still had to kind of like, I still scouted out the location. We still developed it together. I'm not claiming plaudits, but it was still very like, yeah, we kind of, I suppose we directed / produced it in collaboration with him, but it was his kind of his baby in a way. What was it? The Shabensko one was directed by the artist who I used to work for, Ryan Gander, and he mainly took the reins on that, but obviously there's certain discussions because I used to work with him, so we have a kind of similar conceptual interest. So we had discussions about like whether I thought this thing should happen or that thing should happen. So there were certain bits in there. And then, yeah, the Stadium of No with the Young Knives, that was kind of a collaboration with those guys. I kind of said, oh, I've got this idea for a video. I hate performance videos. So they came wanting to collaborate, and then I kind of came back with this idea and said, well, why don't you just play as us? And then we kind of twisted it, and it was kind of the idea of us directing them, and it was just filming the collaboration. That's whatever happened.
You're still releasing your albums and your records yourself on your own label?
Yeah, the last one was a collaboration with Brace Yourself Records. So yeah, they came along upon hearing the third album, and they wanted to be a part of it. Ivano at the label just really loved it and has been very supportive. So that, by doing that, we just realized we could, aim a bit further afield and get international distribution. But a lot of it is still, very much done from this house, so.
Yeah, because you still manage your band yourself.
Yeah.
Which you've always done.
Yeah, no one else wanted to. We had one.
We've had that conversation before, but is that still the case?
We had one email from someone just as COVID locked down, and we cancelled the meeting, and he never got back in touch. So
more for him, John.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's like I quite enjoy doing it, and I guess in a financial sense, you start giving away percentages, and it's like, well, if I am doing it to an adequate degree, I say adequate, but at the same time, then I think, maybe someone else could do a better job. I don't know. But I just continue. So
you carried on writing with Johnny throughout this whole of this year, the touring, whilst you were touring, etc.
Yeah.
You kept getting together, kept writing, kept plugging away, kept rehearsing, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Are you always writing as a band, as a collective? I
think, yeah, we just get excited after the last thing we make. It usually opens up a few more questions, and we always feel like we want to answer those questions. So obviously, we had kind of worked hard through the kind of lockdown period because we could get in the studio early and wrote Nocturnal Movers, and then that came out. But yeah, we've got plenty more in the tank, which is pretty good after a decade.
Of course it is. Absolutely. Did you played abroad this year as well?
Um,
Portugal, did I read?
we didn't end up going
Okay.
again because it's just difficult. Yeah. So yeah.
Where was the street one? You played. You saw
Oh
three.
yeah, we did.
Right.
We went out to Belgium
Okay.
for GOGH, which was really, really nice experience. And it was nice. We met up with the guys from Beak and the guys from Mogwai, which was very, very nice
Nice.
to finally cross paths with them. Big fan of both bands, and they were just really nice because they're, not that everyone who's any nationality hangs out together, but there was quite a mixture of like international bands. So, they just kind of said, "Oh, come and sit around the patio table with us." So we had a nice late night discussion.
It's all about who you know, John, isn't it? Really.
Well, it's just a chat, isn't it?
Networking, mate. Well, that's the world. That's how the world goes round. Talking
Well,
to
I
people.
just interested to chat, because I really like those bands. So it's always
Who's
nice, like picking their brains.
who's the John fan at Bolton Wanderers?
Oh, it's me.
Sorry,
Oh, at Bolton Wanderers.
Bolton Wanderers. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
As in, to put perspective about it, John gets played an awful lot on the tannoy system at Bolton Wanderers.
yeah, which is cute, which is good because my family understand that as a benchmark of success. Um, well, it's still League One, so it's not exactly huge success, but yeah. So there's an amazing guy. There's an amazing guy called Ivan in Bolton who puts on a festival called Right to Roam. It's like community festival, really, really important for Bolton. We played it this year. He's a big Bolton fan, and he also happens to do the music at the Reebok. I say Reebok or the Unibol, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so yeah, he's played. I think he's played 2 tracks before, and it's nice. It's kind of
It's nice.
yeah, it's kind of a funny. Since we'll never play in a stadium, then it's one way of being played in a stadium.
I don't believe that. You might not headline a stadium, John, but you might. You never know. You never know. Champions League advert.
Oh yeah, Erling Haaland, smacking one in. Yeah, just publishers who we work with are really great and have a good relationship with BT Sport. So I think we've been played a couple of times. Once on the last campaign as well, which was funny because it was over the top of some Oxford United highlights, and I had youth trials for Oxford, and I didn't get in because I was probably too fat back then.
Okay, so let's talk about these gigs that are coming up. We did Leeds last week.
Yeah, and that was it was a real privilege, man. Like,
who supported you that night?
So we picked out 3 locals. So Coded Marking, who are come from really good stock of lots of other Leeds bands, but I think they're like relatively new. Really, really good, kind of driven. Not so dissimilar to us, but just really driven stuff. Yeah, great. And then Fuzz Lightyear, who I think just put a new single out on the Leeds label, Come Play With Me. They've put out lots of good stuff. And then our good friends, Magic Mountain, who consist of just a bit of a super group. So Linz and Nesta, I think they used to play in Skylarkin, who were, pretty popular band back in the day. And Tom, Linds's partner, plays in Pulled Apart by Horses, which people may be familiar with. So yeah, and I think also Nesta used to play in Menace Beach as well, and Linz has played session with lots of people. So it's just they're kind of a really important bunch of musicians who have kind of seen the growth of the Brudenell. So it felt incredibly relevant to to have them on board. And they brought their son Iggy as well, who's like just like crawling around with like ear defenders on. So it's kind of, yeah, it's super nice.
Brilliant, brilliant. And a week on Friday, you've got the Dome.
Yeah, so that's a big one for us. So we hope as many people can make it as possible.
That's what, 500 cap venue?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the biggest? Is that the biggest headline show in London you've?
Yeah, it's the biggest so far. So again, it's you know, they're tough times, and we know people, you know, people. Yeah,
but
it's hard.
It's Friday.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hope people will be up for it. We've got a really good, you know, we've obviously got Ditz on board, wonderful band.
Wonderful band. One of the highlight albums of the year, for sure, I think, for sure.
Because I sang on it.
Did you fuck? Where are you on that album?
No, I'm joking. So basically, I'm only saying that as a joke. They're a great band. They're really good friends of ours. We've known them for a long time.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with my shitty little backing vocals. But yeah, one time, I think it was one afternoon after rehearsal in Brighton. This is very Ditz. I get a text message being like, "Oh, we want you to do some backing vocals. I'll pick you up in half an hour." And I was like, "Okay." So they literally picked me up, and we drove out to this farm, which is where is it Ben Hamden, I think, who's a great producer, has you know, studio. And I was like, well, I don't know where the hell I'm going. And literally just like they just like put the words in front of me and sang on No Thanks, I'm Full and Summer of the Shark.
Then I'll go back. I've listened to that album a lot and I've never heard it, John. So maybe I will. I know it's there.
It's deliberately subtle. It's just like a little bit of lower gruff backing because because Cal's voice is, you know, pretty distinct, but I think it really worked with me kind of coming up behind it. So yeah, really proud of those guys. They've done a lot this year. So it's really nice to have them on board for London. Yeah.
And the Thekla.
Yeah, Bristol's nuts.
The week after.
Bristol. Yeah, Bristol's just like, everyone thinks we're from Bristol. Okay. And in a way, it's almost like a hometown crowd.
They've been good. Like, they've been good to John.
They've always been good to us.
Yeah.
And it's already looking good. It's already like well over half sold. So, you know, that's really good. We played there on the last tour and just had such a good time. You know, it made sense to kind of go back and do it again. But yeah, just because Thekla's, you know, wicked.
It is, and it's a lovely city, and it's got lovely people in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, my brother lives there. Obviously, all the Idols boys are there. I think they might be around, so I don't know whether they'll show their faces.
I think they're all back now. They're back this, and that's their year done pretty much. So I imagine for them, it's just rehearsal now for that next big album.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm yet to discuss that with them in detail, but that's coming soon. So,
did you get a chance to speak to Joe at all? Did you manage to speak to him, or has that been rescheduled?
Briefly, briefly on the phone I have, but no, I'm going to talk to him roughly about the 9th, actually, early December. We've got a chat.
We'll give him a big verbal punch from me.
You have to phone Joe up. You can't text him.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Maybe I just will out of the blue.
Just phone him up. Yeah, that's how I do it. It's the only way you can get hold of him. Just call him. Otherwise, he's shit at getting hold of. But you know he will. You know he will.
No, of course. You know, again, it's like, you know, we've got loads of friends who do lots of different things, you know, and we always know how busy it can be, you know, especially at that level. It's like, you know, it's just, you can't really imagine it. So, you know, it's when you see him, it's always a beautiful thing. You know, we met up with them at 2000 Trees in summer, which was a really nice thing because we kind of weren't sure whether, you know, how long they would be able to stick around and stuff with the schedule. But yeah, it was just really nice to see them. And they gave us a shout out on main stage, which was,
Beautiful.
just, you know, I don't expect that, but it was really, really sweet. Yeah, it kind of, it meant a lot.
In October this year, you released a new single
Yes, we did. Yeah, yeah,
called Theme New Bond Junior. I'm not going to lie,
yeah.
John, that doesn't quite roll off the tongue very well.
I think it does.
No, roll it off your tongue then.
Theme Newborn Junior.
Maybe it's at the speed I'm saying it.
I have said it a lot. No, I know. Yeah, people. I think we were on Steve Lamac's roundtable, and Sarah Cracknell from St Etienne said it was hard to say. But I was like, I suppose if that's the one negative thing that anyone's going to say about it on roundtable, I'm going to take that, and that's pretty much what it was. So
Beautiful.
she loved it as well. So it's oh God, I just it's really really.
You've had some good support off of Radio 6. Yeah,
yeah, they keep coming back, which is
lovely, because that's a whole new load of new ears that wouldn't normally find it or listen to it and stuff. This single was big. This single sounds big.
Yeah, I mean, we switched up production this time round. So after 3 albums with Wayne Adams, who is a wonderful producer, it, like with every band, you just need to evolve and push yourself. So so we actually went in to record some demos with Tom Hill, who, again, another fantastic producer. He did the live B-sides on the 7 inches.
Okay.
So if anyone has the Shibensko Powerhouse 7-inch or a song for those off the last campaign, he did those. So we had this working relationship and kind of flow with him already. So we went in to do demos because the label kind of said, oh, it might be nice to try some things out and see where you want to go. And we came out, listened, and we were like, we're not doing these again. We just dig into them because they're too they're too good to, there was just a freshness to them that, there wasn't any pressure on them. So we just, we kind of realized that. And then from that, we thought this time round with new stuff, we would go for a different process as well. So we would use Tom as the engineer, the kind of recording engineer, and then we would shift it on to Seth Manchester, who has produced some amazing albums over in the US. So he mixed it. So it
definitely, I mean, it's got John dripping all over it, obviously, but it's a very different sound. It's difficult for me. I'm not a journalist, I'm not a wordo, but it's difficult for me to put my finger on, but I think you know what I mean. It just sounds this big.
Yeah.
And it's instantly, you're like, I need to hear that again. And then where's my headphones? I want to hear that in my headphones. It's just.
Yeah, we're really pleased with the decision. Because at some point, obviously when you've got a whole world in front of you within budget and within reason, you have to make sensible decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes decisions kind of like come out of the corner of your eye. So you just have to be ready to like observe that and jump on it. So like when the thing happened, obviously going back to Tom in a comfortable scenario was a smart move. So you kind of tiptoe down that path. And then obviously hearing the result and being like, Tom's done amazing. So that then opened this other channel of being like, well, yeah, but we could try and mix it with someone else to just change up the process. And then me and Johnny had been fans of lots of Seth's work. So I dropped him a message and he seemed very interested. So it started to kind of make itself in a way. Of course, I'm like making decisions, but they're like, you're just following your nose a little bit.
I take it this single is the start of the next chapter.
Yeah, so we have already announced, we have the 7-inch coming in probably around like late January, February. obviously with pressing deadlines and stuff like that,
Sure.
stuff can't be as concrete, but we should have it by then. I've approved the test pressing, so the ball's rolling. And that has a B-side on it called Hopper on the Dial, which has already been announced. So that will come out probably a little bit in advance of the actual physical single, just to get people, limbered up for the new year. And then who knows, there might be other stuff.
Whatever, whatever new year next year brings.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
Hopefully, as a fan, lots of gigs, lots of new music.
Yeah, I think I can comfortably say, without being incredibly cryptic, there will be a lot to digest, and me and Johnny feel like really good about it. Good. And that's a good position to be in after a year that is like, I don't want to be doom and gloom, because it has been great. We've had like supports with Mclusky, Viagra Boys, the great festivals, but it's just been really solid work this year. And I feel in an incredibly privileged situation to be able to do this. But it's been a lot of work this year. I think probably the most work in the entire history of the band.
Okay. But you've still got the desire and the passion after 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
incredible.
I think the thing is like, if we felt like we couldn't push it any further, we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But recent events have shown that there's still progression, and there's still we're not going to make the same album over and over again. There's still movement in there, and that's really exciting. So I don't think we're just doing it for the sake of keeping a thing running. Like, we're both incredibly excited about the kind of the new bits that we have.
It's been before we move on to the last section, which is, it will be my quickfire round, which you won't get away from. Okay. It's done the last 5. When did I first see John? End of 2017, I think it was. I think my second gig was upstairs at the Lock Tavern. You were supporting Broads in that little tiny room.
Yeah.
And it's gone in a nice direction.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm honest, like, that's slow and steady growth. All the bands we like have kind of, have done that, because you just learn gradually and you get good, and it leaves you time to ruminate between stuff to see where you want to go. Like, there's not too much pressure to fire something out, and there's not too many hands coming in and like just affecting things. We've never really given away autonomy to we've got a great team who surround us, but they're all people who respect it for what it is and understand that, like, it has to run in a certain way, otherwise it isn't John. And I'm sorry if that means that it isn't like wildly popular or wildly big, like, then so be it, because at the same time, it's if it starts being something that it isn't, it can't exist. So that's not to say I don't want more people to know about it, and I don't want to go on to bigger things, always want to be ambitious with it. We're both incredibly ambitious with like trying to write the best stuff we can all the time. But I'm also equally really pleased that we've kept this thing kind of really close to our hands, and followed record labels like Discord, like Fugazi. We come from loving those types of bands who really cared about being relatively ethical about what they do, and caring about who they sell it to. And I like to think that we've done that on our terms. You know, there's been certain decisions recently that have not been easy to make for our own financial gain, but like that's finance. And if you don't live up to your principles and, you know, and go for the money, then it's like, well, again, the band can't exist because you're just being two-faced about it. Sorry.
No, John, love, thank you very much, mate. And long may this wonderful duo continue.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm really, I am. I don't want to sound doom and gloom about this year because, like I said, lots of good things coming, and
Good.
we are very proud of what is to come.
And let's try and get one out there on the 3rd in London.
Sorry, it's on the 2nd. So cheers, Brian.
Friday the 2nd. Friday the 2nd.
Yeah, Friday the 2nd. Like, it is a really important show for us as a band, and we really love the Dome. We played there in summer, and it sounded really good on stage and off stage, I heard. So they're a really caring venue. They were very keen to have it, which is great when you actually hear that the venue like want to make it happen. You know, that's really that's really good.
And a week later in Bristol.
Yeah, so that's on the 9th, and that sold really well. Not that London hasn't. London sold pretty well as well, but yeah, Bristol is getting full. I'm not just saying that, or maybe I am. No, I'm joking. No, Bristol's just incredibly kind. So that's going to be amazing.
Brilliant, John. Thank you very much for your time.
Cool.
On this particularly horribly cold. What day is it? Tuesday, Monday.
Yeah, Monday evening.
Yeah. We're going to finish off with a very quick fire round, John.
Yeah, more than happy.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do the rest of it.
Some of these are new. Some of these you might have had before, but it was 2 years ago, so your answer might have changed.
Okay.
There's 30 here because I did write 15 for Johnny. I'm going to throw them all at you.
That's fine.
Quick, no thinking. Just top of your head, mate. John, what's your favourite John track?
Oh, that's got to be quick, hasn't it? Oh, geez. I almost said a new one then.
What one we don't know? No, don't say that.
Theme Newborn Junior because it's new.
You say it so quick as well. I'm very impressed. The best live band you saw this year when you was out and about?
Jeez. I'm not doing very quick, am I?
Fine, it's fine. Go on, go.
I mean, I loved Mogwai. I'd always wanted to see them do a proper heavy set.
What would be your dream support slot? What the phone call you'd want to go? Yes.
Oh, fucking jeez. These are really hard to do quick. Jeez.
That's fine. No, it's fine. Go on.
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but I'd love Proto Martyr. Probably Proto Martyr.
Lovely. Top of your bucket list.
Top of my bucket list.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Well, that was the one thing you want to do before you die. What does that mean?
I didn't know whether it was like general or music or like.
However, anything. Top of your bucket list. What do you want to do?
Oh God.
So you say pass. If you want to say pass, I won't. Normally, I wouldn't accept that from anyone, but you're John, so I will accept it.
Am I supposed to like bungee jump off a cliff or something?
I'm taking that. Taking that.
No,
John,
I think no, that's rubbish. I don't want to do that. I might want to swim with sharks. I love sharks, really.
Yeah, but it's a nice. Loving them is nice, but from a distance.
Yeah, but I think I need to do it because I watch like too many shark documentaries. Like I've been obsessed with them as a kid, so it's like I probably should, like in a safe manner, in like a cage.
Yeah, but you also see footage of them fuckers coming through that.
Yeah, I do watch all of that. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing to say.
John, what's your favourite insect?
Why did I think of a stick insect?
That's because I'm taking that as an answer. Yeah, I used to keep them as pets.
So did I. I had some as well. And they eat privet. Do they eat privet? That's what you have to feed them.
Like brambles. Brambles.
Yeah.
Is that privet?
I think. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, John, what's the worst thing you've ever put in your mouth?
Probably a light bulb.
Fuck's sake.
A broken one.
Describe your next album in one word.
Oh, big.
Love it. John, your favourite film?
I love Michael Haneke. Probably, I mean, I'm going to say Seven Continent because I've got the press document, the original press document on my wall. My partner got it for me.
The festival you'd most like to play?
Jeez. I mean, there's some real beauties out there, isn't there? You know, there's like Primavera and Roskilde and
Download.
I mean, to be honest, a year ago, I probably would have said Green Man or End of the Road, and we've done it.
Yeah.
And it's
Brilliant.
like, that is beautiful. That's beautiful.
The band that you don't want to miss live next year, if they're out there?
Oh, God. If they're out there.
If they're out there, if they're touring next year, who do you want to go and see?
Jeez. Oh, geez, man. I love music so much that it's like, it's really.
There's so much of it, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, pass. Take a pass with it. It's the first coffee review I've done for a long. I would never normally accept pass, but it's the first coffee review.
No, it's a good
for a long time.
It's a good question, but I've seen a lot of people of late. It's Was
there an album that come out this year you thought, fuck, I want to see that live, that you haven't managed to do yet?
I mean, I saw Gilliban, so I saw their new stuff. I've seen Crack Cloud quite a lot. Oh, geez. Yeah,
it's fine. We'll come back to it.
I'll come back to it if I think of one.
Your favourite TV show ever?
TV
show.
TV show. Not the news. I'm doing so badly, aren't I?
You're just shit at this, aren't you?
No, because I think about it too much. Most people would probably
quick fire. Move on. We'll come back to that one in a minute if we can. Yeah. I'll put a little mark next to my question.
We'll go back. Yeah.
We'll go back to it. Tea or coffee?
I like both, but I go coffee just because it's.
Your spirit animal?
Spirit animal is probably a chipmunk.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Don't know.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
It's a no for me, but it's a yes for Johnny.
Johnny's wrong then, isn't he? What's the worst thing about being on tour?
Johnny? No, he's all right. I like him. Probably Johnny snoring. No, I'm joking. I think probably just being away from home.
Yeah, comforts.
Yeah.
What would your superpower be, John?
I mean, invisibility is pretty good, or I probably said like Bernard's watch, you know, when you can stop time and move around.
Your favourite John video?
I mean, I really like the one which Ryan did because he's like, you know, to have an award-winning contemporary artist make you a video is pretty amazing. But Tom's one with the light box is really, really good too.
Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Fuck J.K. Rowling, so I'd definitely go with Star Wars.
Sleaford Mods or salad cream?
Do you know what? I'm going to say Sleaford Mods.
We'll move on. If you had to bring a third member into John, forced to, what instrument would they play? Can't say bass.
Well, we had sax, didn't we? Chloe Harrington. So I don't know, like that was really nice. And also
Violin at one point as well.
Yeah. Rosanna Dean. Yeah, she played on Dog Walker, which was a little idea that I had. But yeah, or anything kind of like, because I've actually playing with an SPD now, so that kind of brings in some different sounds. So anything kind of like a little bit electronic as well. Yeah. So there are possibilities to do stuff, but we're still a two.
Late nights or early mornings?
I'd like to say late nights, but early mornings.
The celebrity that just annoys you a bit too much.
Sorry, what's that?
The celebrity that annoys you just a little bit too much.
Celebrity that annoys me so much.
Yeah. Or just a little bit. If it's for fuck's sake. Stop it.
There's loads of people who say stupid shit, isn't there? I mean, just anything that is like not supportive of like inclusivity. Like, like I said, J.K. Rowling. It's just like, you're just an idiot, man. And I mean, like, while we're on it, FIFA, man, like,
fuck yeah.
Just bin them all. Like, honestly, disgusting. Like, really disgusting. I hate it.
Yeah. Favorite smell?
Probably my partner's perfume.
Do you wear it when she's not around?
We both wear it. Yeah. It's like unisex. It's like what's it called? Le Labo Santal, I think.
Nice.
Is it Le Labo? Yeah, it's like a woody sense.
Favorite foot?
Favorite foot?
Yeah, you got two. Your left and right. What's your favorite?
Oh, I thought you meant like other people's feet. I was like, that's fucking creepy, man.
You can say that if you want.
I need to check my right is destroyed from playing football as a kid. So my left is destroyed from playing football as a kid. So my right is
right is your favourite because it's the strongest one. John, Brighton or Crystal Palace?
I mean, I was never like a Crystal Palace, like, because I'm a Bolton fan, because I'm, I think a lot of people think we're Crystal Palace fans, which we're not, but
No, Brighton has we're Brighton, not just football necessarily, but Brighton or Palace.
Oh, I thought you meant football. Jeez.
That's where you live for ages.
Oh, that's a bit tough, isn't it? I mean, I do love Brighton at the moment because of the sea.
If I stuck you in the middle of of both of them, which way would you walk?
Well, I'm going to go to Brighton because all my stuff's here, so we'll go Brighton.
Who would play you in a film?
Jurgen Klopp.
Okay. Last two questions. John, was the best album that's ever been made?
Man, how do you ask people these things?
Top of your head. There must be one album that went bang in your head.
The best album that's ever been made.
Yeah. QUICKFIRE.
QUICKFIRE.
Top of your head.
It's not like the best, but I love this album by a band called Lack from Copenhagen. They reformed and did a couple of shows at Loppen. We're quite good friends with the people from Loppen in Copenhagen. And they did some Reformation shows, and I was gutted not to go. It was just after COVID. And they have a song called Saturate Every Atom, and I just love it. I think it's brilliant. I'm not going to say it's the best album in the world. I bet I could think of something.
But it's in the group.
It's just it's one of these ones that hop from device to device since I was about 16, and it's like brilliant. So yeah.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
3 words or 3 letters? Because if it's letters, probably OCD.
I'll take that. Describe yourself in 3 letters. Describe Johnny in 3 letters. All words.
He's really caring.
That's lovely.
And he's bless him, he gets a bit stressed out with work sometimes. He works hard. He's a grafter. So like grafter, loving, and this sounds really wet. And
No, it's lovely.
he's a really good driver. So yeah.
Sweaty. Describe John, the band, the collective, Rock Gods John, in 3 words.
Minus the rock gods.
Oh
no, that's 4 words. I just like to think that it's like, I like to think it's, an energetic, creative duo. Like I just, we started it off knowing what people thought of kind of punk and rock music, the kind of sensationalism that was prevalent in those scenes when we started. And I just don't want any of that bullshit. Like, I don't believe in any of it. I don't believe in making yourself look larger than you are. Like, a lot of people do it. I mean, a lot of people make themselves look like cartoon characters. And again, I think sometimes that's an easy way of a viewer or a listener kind of relating to something, because it pops out to them. But I just wanted it to be us. That's why the name was an important thing. And come and see the show. Like, that will be the sensation. That will be the energy, will be the sensation.
John, thank you very much for all your time. Always a wonderful pleasure talking to you.
No worries. I haven't done my TV series yet.
What TV? Oh fuck, we've got to go back. What's your favourite TV series of all time?
TV series.
You've not even thought of an answer.
No. Me and my partner love like anything with a lot of murders. Actually, I love David Lynch. So something like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks probably
was one of the greatest TV shows ever made.
Yeah.
Not a lot of murders in Twin Peaks, though. One major one.
Sorry, what was that?
Not a lot of murders in Twin Peaks.
Not a lot of what?
Murders. You said you like things with lots of murders in.
Well, that's the kind of it. It's like round one murder, but then it's like that's the kind of MacGuffin, isn't it? But
it's beautiful. Beautiful.
The first is good. Like it goes a bit like weird in the second when Lynch stops directing it.
Yep.
But I did really enjoy the just the indulgence of the third, the return, just because it was just like the thing is, if people want like a linear plot narrative, it's just like don't go anywhere near it. Just like literally indulge in his mind. Like, and
the third one was beautiful for that. Absolutely.
That box that just like that thing comes out and just eviscerates those two.
Yeah.
Yes, brilliant.
And the nuclear explosion in black and white for like 50 minutes. We've got one question he didn't answer. What band do you not want to miss live on the road next year?
That I don't want to miss live. I'm just going to try and look at my phone and see whether I've got anything to prompt me. Right, just you have a drink and I'll just...
It's not vodka, it's just lemonade because it's Monday night.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't drink during the week anymore.
Good boy. Good boy. Right, I'm going on my playlist.
Go on.
But, oh my God. Jeez. I'd love to see More Mother.
More Mother?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
I think they are from America. It's one person and it's kind of like just, I think it's she. I'm not sure whether it's she or they, so I don't want to make I don't want to, so I'll say they. I just don't want to make a boo-boo. But I think they're from America and they make kind of, it's really broad spectrum of like mixing through jazz, electronic, and kind of hardcore noise stuff. And yeah, I just was listening to the album Analog Fluids of Sonic Black Holes and just reminding myself of how good it was. And they're just, they're just literally bashing out stuff all the time. Really, really great stuff. And I'd like to see it live, but I haven't had the chance yet.
I'm sure you will. John, thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. Always a pleasure to have a chinwag. Hopefully if all goes well, I will be with you on the 2nd
Yeah, you've got the date right.
In London.
Perfect.
Yourself and the Glorious Dits. Thank you very much, and
Good stuff.
I love you.
You too, mate. You too. Really appreciate
this.
Now,
and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.